All right, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining. Today, we are going to be talking about integrating Infor Document Management, or maybe you've heard of it referred to as IDM, with DocuSign for e-signatures. My name is Chandra Heron, and I will be passing it over to Leonard Woodall after I give a quick rundown about Intellias. So a little bit about us. We were established in 1999. We started out as a complementary partner with our software pieces. Those include payroll automation, benefit add-ins, time entry, expense entry, a few elements that we created for version 10 and that we've carried on for Cloud Suite. We are an Infor Alliance partner. We're certified in both Infor applications and AWS. Our consulting services include cloud migrations and upgrades. We do system assessments and optimization reports, which kind of help people prepare for those upgrades. We help with new module implementations. So maybe you're already running GHR and you want to add in talent acquisition or other elements like that. We can help with that, as well as technical and functional application support, just general how to, can you help us build an integration, that sort of thing. As I mentioned before, we do have software offerings. Our most popular are payroll automation and expense management. And with that, I think I will turn it over to you, Leonard.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. My name is Leonard Woodall. I'm a solutions architect here at Intellias. I've been with Intellias for a little over 5 years now. I am as I mentioned, a solutions architect on the supply management side. So I work with all the supply management products, inventory management, contract management, strategic sourcing, etc. So thanks everyone for joining. Appreciate it. So a little introduction. So I think we can all agree that managing and collecting signatures on physical documents, often leads to delays, errors, potentially compliance risks, etc. Me as a consultant, I know that I receive, user access forms and things like that. And I don't know how often I get frustrated of printing out the document on my printer, physically signing it, scanning it back in, and sending it on its way. So having a solution that'll be able to automate that would be ideal, right? So by integrating Infor Document Management, we'll talk about what that is with an e-signature platform like DocuSign. Organizations can streamline operations, reduce manual errors, and more importantly, capture those signatures electronically using the best of breed solution. So IDM is tightly integrated with FSM and contract management, as some of you may know. But even if you're not fully utilizing contract management, you can still leverage the integration between IDM and DocuSign to facilitate the e-signature process for any document that you're managing or intend to manage in Infor Document Management. So again, today's topic, integrating Infor Document Management with DocuSign. So today's agenda, we'll talk about what Infor Document Management is. We'll also talk about DocuSign and what that can do for us. We'll talk about the very simple integration requirements to get this all set up and configured. I'll walk you through the actual configuration process. We'll finish it up with document types and talk about how document types are utilized within Infor Document Management to think of it as a folder, right? So document type is a folder, and that's where all of our documents related to that folder are stored, for lack of a better word. And then I'll go into a demo. I'll show you the user interface, how quickly we can send out a document for review through DocuSign. We'll take a look at the integration between the two systems, and then we'll close out for questions. So real quickly, Infor Document Management is Infor's central repository for all documents stored through their application ecosystem. So it is their best of breed solution that they're offering out to all of our clients. Some of its key features are it's a centralized storage for all documents. It's stored securely in one location. We have an extensive metadata management process that we can go in and we can tag and add attributes to documents. Therefore, we can query the documents, locate the documents quickly. Security and compliance. Infor Document Management is based on FSM and talent role-based access. So securing documents and allowing users to perform certain functions within IDM can all be controlled using FSM roles. We bring all of those roles in and we can leverage those through the security rules within IDM. And lastly, we're not going to touch on this too much, but IDM does have a full workflow automation process built into it. It's not necessarily encompassing what we're talking about today with DocuSign, but just to know that it is out there, it's available. And if you want to know more information about that, please let us know. From a DocuSign perspective, now I'm not a DocuSign expert, so this is what I've collected and the research that I've done. But DocuSign is a cloud-based electronic signature solution. I'm sure many of us have signed documents on the platform. It's well-versed, used by a lot of companies for these types of transactions. Some of its key features are cloud-based access, so you can access it anywhere. I can access it on my desktop. I can sign on my phone, my tablet, what have you. Electronic signatures, again, they're legally recognized. They conform to standards such as the eSign Act and EIDAS on the EU side. Security compliance, again, it's an enterprise-grade security system, compliant with SOC and all international standards. The solution does provide a user interface. That user interface allows you to track real time where documents are at in the signature process, and you'll be able to view audit trails and so forth. I do want to point out that we'll also be showing you with the integration of Infor Document Management to DocuSign, you don't necessarily have to log into DocuSign to see where a document's at. We'll show you how you can monitor that within IDM itself. And lastly, it's integrates seamlessly with Salesforce, Microsoft, and of course, Infor. All right, so now that we know a little bit about IDM and of course, I'm sure everybody knows about DocuSign, let's talk briefly about the integration requirements, which there aren't that many. So for the first thing you're going to need is a DocuSign account, okay? That DocuSign account, if it's a shared or corporate account, it does need to have the ability to get to the admin tab to be able to collect some information that we need to have from DocuSign to be able to configure IDM to leverage that integration. Okay, so first step is to obtain your credentials for DocuSign or be able to locate the person who owns that account to be able to get this information. Okay. The second component that's required to configure the integration is a couple of FSM security role assignments. So we're going to need to log into IDM as an administrator to be able to configure the integration between DocuSign. So the user that's going to do the initial configuration will need to be assigned the IDM administrator role so that they can access the control panel. The second role in FSM role is called IDM signature user. Okay, so this role needs to be assigned to any user that will be leveraging IDM and actually be the person who is sending the documents out for review and signature. Okay, so not all users have to be assigned both, but in the scenario of the configuration, the user who is configuring the integration needs to have both roles assigned for this purpose. Okay, if your IT team obviously may not want to give you the IDM administrator role if you're an end user or a super user, so you'll just want to partner with IT to assist with setting up this configuration. And again, it's not very time consuming, as you'll see in subsequent slides. Okay, so quickly from a DocuSign perspective, again, you're going to need an account. So you're going to want to log into that account using log into DocuSign. Once you log in, if you have the proper rights, up at the top of the page, you're going to see a tab called Admin. You're going to click on that tab, and then from the left navigation menu, you're going to navigate down to Integrations, and you're going to go to Apps and Keys. Okay. Once you get to Apps and Keys, there's a section on the page called My Account Information. I blacked this out because it'll actually show you the actual value that's in these fields, and we obviously don't want to publish that. But what you're going to do when you log into your account, you're going to copy down the API account ID, and you're also going to copy down the account-based URL for your DocuSign account. All right. that's really the last step in the DocuSign piece that we need to capture this information to complete the integration in IDM. So once you've collected this information, you're going to log into FSM to configure IDM. Again, you're going to want to log in with an account in FSM to IDM administration. Okay. Once you log in from the application chooser, where you would go in and you would choose, sorry about that, where you would choose your application in 4OS, you should have access to a link called Document Management. Once you click on the Document Management link, from the home page, over on the very far right-hand side of the screen, there'll be a little sprocket. And if you hover over that, that will be the IDM Control Center that will allow you to access the configuration components for DocuSign. So once you click on the sprocket, you're going to go to Configurations, and you're going to click on the document signature from that widget. The document signature page is going to open. Under the document signature provider, if you do a drop down, I'm not doing this real time, but DocuSign is the only provider right now that's supported through this integration. So you're going to select DocuSign. For the API account ID, you're going to copy that into the document signature account ID field. I blocked that out, obviously. And then for the document signature base URL, you're going to copy the same URL that we copied down from DocuSign. Once those values are set, you're going to click Save. And guys, that's it. I mean, the configuration between DocuSign, your DocuSign account, and IDM is set. So that's the key integration pieces, the key things that tie both of them together. Okay. Next, we want to talk about document types. So again, document types are collections of documents based upon what folder they sit in IDM, right? So each document that you plan on sending out to someone to sign through DocuSign, you need to set up that document type for signatures. And it's fairly simple. Again, you're going to need the administrator role for IDM. You're going to go back into the control panel, and you're going to go to administration, and you're going to click on document types. When you get to document types, there's going to be a whole list of document types that are delivered from Infor out of the box that you can obviously set up for signature. In this example and in this screenshot, all I did was search for contract document. And once I selected the contract document, all of the details related to that document type are displayed on the right-hand side of the screen. Once all the integration components are configured, everything is set up, an indicator right here that's highlighted in red called Enable Document Signature will become available on every document type within IDM. You simply just need to select the document types for any of the documents that you're planning on sending out through DocuSign. So in this case, I selected Contract Document, and then I selected Enable Document Signature, and I clicked on Save. Again, whatever documents you want to leverage with DocuSign, you'll have to come in and set this up one time for each of the documents that you're planning on sending over to DocuSign. So now that we've talked about the base configuration, what the basic simple integration components that we need to do to tie the two systems together, I thought it'd be a good idea to go through kind of a live demo so everyone can see how simple it is to be able to create a contract in FSM. Again, there is no dependency on whether the contract started in FSM or if it's a document that we just upload directly into IDM and route out. And I'm going to go through a demo with both of those scenarios. All right, so I'm going to escape out of the presentation. Chandra, help me. Do you guys see my screen, my FSM?
We do, yep.
Okay, great. All right, so I've already logged into our tenant. I'm on the Intellias DIM tenant. I navigated to contracts. And now again, I just want to make sure I'm perfectly clear. In this scenario, I am using contract management. Okay, so I have a contract that I have, it's a no-cost contract that I put into the system. I attach the document, and we're going to pull that contract up right now to take a look at it. So I'm going to click search. And this document right here, the contract 396, is a contract we're going to look at first. Okay. So when I bring up that contract document, again, this is not a demo for contract management, but as a contract goes through the workflow, approval, and so forth, we have the ability to route it for review and approval. This contract in this scenario has already gone through the internal review process. Everything has been negotiated if it needed to be negotiated on this contract, and we're ready now for signatures. Okay. So and that's indicated by the status ready to activate. When I'm in FSM, and the reason why I'm saying FSM contract management is tightly integrated with IBM and so forth, is if I go over here, and again, if you don't have access to these widgets, we'd be more than happy to explain how this all works. But within FSM, we have the ability to go to what we call widgets. And when set up properly, when I go to a widget on any transaction, in this case, I'm on the contract, we set up a related information widget. And this shows us all of the related documents to this contract that's sitting in in document management today. So in this scenario, I have a contract, it's been negotiated, and it's ready to activate. But before I want to activate it, I want to send that contract out for final signature. So in this scenario, to do this, I can simply come down to this widget window, and I can click on Show in IDM. When I click on this link, it's going to actually bring up the contract document in IDM. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And very slow today, so takes a second for it to come up for some reason. All right. So simply by being an FSM on the contract, I clicked on the contract to open it up in document management. And notice that my contract document type is contract document. So back to my slide deck, this is one of the contract document, or I'm sorry, the document types that we set up for signatures, right? So when I bring up the document in IDM, I have the ability to click on the signature action. So key thing here, if you do not see a signature button on a particular document or a document type, that either means that the integration component hasn't been set up with DocuSign, or just simply that the document type hasn't been set up for signature. Okay. So with this document, I'm ready to send it out for signature. I've set up all the integration with DocuSign. So as a user, I'm going to go ahead and click on signature. What that's going to do is that's going to bring up a page within Infor Document Management that basically allows me to prepare this document before I send it over to DocuSign. Okay. So notice that we have the ability to select a template. I don't have any templates built on this account. And I'm not going to get into too many details about templates with DocuSign and so forth. But what we're about to do by adding recipients, where we're going to add, myself. So on this particular document, I'm going to want to have it signed by myself. Notice that when I search for my name, this particular account already knows who I am, because technically this account is owned by me. So when I start typing in my name, it already knows who I am, and it automatically populates my email address. Okay. So when I'm setting up this document, I have to determine who this contract or document is going to be routed to from doc perspective. What users are we routing it to? Okay. So I just effectively added myself as one of the signers of this document, and I click on Add Recipient. The second person who's going to sign it, I'm just going to call Supplier Woodall. Notice that my name doesn't come up. It's not found because the system doesn't know who I am. So I'm going to have to manually put in my email address. For this exercise, I'm just going to put in lwoodall plus 10 at Intellias. That's just going to allow me to see the email once it comes through and be able to take action on it. Okay. So from this window, I basically identified who the recipients of the document that I'm requesting to be reviewed and signed, added to the envelope. And then the last thing I need to do is I just need to put in a basic subject, and I also need to put in a message. Now take note of what I'm putting in here. This will be visible to the user, to the signer, when they click on the link from their email to sign this document. So just know that this is something that is going to be presented to the user itself. And lastly, before I click on send, just note that I have this indicator here that says edit envelope. In this scenario, I want to be able to send the document to DocuSign, but I want to review the document before it actually gets sent out uh, um, to a vendor or a signer. Okay. So again, I added my recipients, I added my subject, and I added my message, and then I'm just going to click on send. Once I hit send, it's actually going to bring up a DocuSign window with the envelope in DocuSign that's going to allow me to finish preparing the document to send out through DocuSign. So if I expand this, notice that the title is add fields and envelope. So this is the actual document in DocuSign that came over from IDM when we said we wanted to send it out for signature. And as I review the document, notice that my signature lines are on page A2 for this particular document, okay? So I need to prepare to determine who's going to sign where and determine what information I'm going to collect from the user, okay? So up here at the top, you'll notice that Leonard Woodall came over, and notice that my supplier Woodall came over. Those are the two recipients that I identified out of IDM that I want to be included in the signing of this particular document. Okay, so to prepare the document, I'm going to start with Leonard Woodall. Again, this is my L. Woodall Intellias email address. I'm not signing as the supplier, I'm signing as Intellias. So I'm going to simply drag and drop the fields that I want to be able to capture when the signer comes in and signs this particular document. So I drag and drop sign. I have the ability, and again, these are just standard fields. I didn't configure anything special in DocuSign. This is out of the box, nothing unique or special. I have the ability to already pull in the full name of the person who's signing it. I have the ability to pull in the resources, the signer's title, and I can pull in the date signed. Okay, so I've now effectively set up this document to be signed by Leonard Woodall at L. Woodall and Intellias. The next step is to set up and configure for the counter signature, right? So up at the top, once I finish up for Leonard Woodall, I can come up here and choose the supplier Woodall account. Notice that all of the icons changed to a different color. Leonard Woodall was signed with blue, and now we have pink for the supplier. And I'm going to basically perform the same exact steps. I'm going to drag over sign, drag over full name. Sorry, lost my title and date signed. All right. So now that I prepared the document, everything's good to go. I'm happy with everything's at. I can now, within this envelope, click on send. Okay. When I click on send, I didn't set up any rules in DocuSign. There's a lot of functions and features that are available in DocuSign that says, okay, I want the supplier to review it before Intellias reviews it, or vice versa. Just know that all of those rules are available to you in DocuSign. For this demo, we're just sending it to both users, and both users can sign at their will. Okay. So when I click on send, what it's doing is DocuSign is preparing the document. It's going to close the DocuSign window, but I want to point out what changed on the IDM side. So notice that, and I should have pointed this out, I apologize, but before we sent it out for signature, there was no icon here. It was just blank. Now that we send it out for signature, notice that I have an icon here that's yellow, and if I hover over it, it says document was sent to be signed. So now you have an indicator within IDM, not even in document management to look at where it's at in the tracking process, but I do have an indicator that says that this document's still out for signature. Notice I have a tab over here on the right on the same document. If I click on that, now that I've sent that envelope out through DocuSign, sorry, it takes a second. If I click on the envelope, notice that the integration will automatically bring in the status of that envelope in DocuSign, right? So it says it's in progress. It says that supplier Woodall has not signed it yet, as well as Leonard Woodall has not signed it yet. So this is an indicator without having to have access to DocuSign. The user themselves can quickly log in and identify where the status of that document is, who has signed it, and who has not signed it. So I think it's a great integration. It gives you good visibility into DocuSign, and you're not navigating through applications trying to figure out where these documents are at. Okay. I'm going to bring up my email real quick. As we saw, I added myself as both recipients. So these are the two emails that got sent out, right? So if I click on one of them, you'll notice that this is supplier L. Woodall. So this is the email that would have gone to the supplier or vendor to review and sign this contract. And if I click on the other one, this is going to my L. Woodall. I just want to show you, I have the emails coming to me, but it's technically two different people. All right. So first, we're going to sign as Intellias. So when the user receives the email, they're simply just going to click on the review document link. Again, remember I said that the message that we put in, the subject and the body, is visible to the signer, right? So they just see a pop-up message from Leonard Woodall, please review and sign contract. That's the same thing I put in when I sent the contract for review from IDM. I'm just going to quickly click on other. I'm not going to point out, I'm not going to talk about other options, but finish later, assign to someone else. These all can be controlled at the envelope level, but I'm not going to go into that detail. That's more on the DocuSign side. So I'm going to click on continue. Now it brings up the actual document in DocuSign, and I'm ready to sign this. So if you guys are familiar with DocuSign, again, it works just the same. The signer can go through, can review the document, and when they're ready, they can simply just come in here, and when they're ready to sign it, they just click on sign. If DocuSign knows who you are and you've already adopted a signature, it'll just default that, and you can just say use saved. If this is your first time signing something with DocuSign with your email address, you'll have to set up your signature first, but that's neither here nor there. So when you're ready, you're just going to click on use saved. And what it's going to do is it's going to sign the document. It's going to put the sign token underneath it. And then I click on next. Notice that since we added title, sometimes titles change and so forth. So DocuSign just says, hey, do you want, do you review your title? Do you want to make a change? And it allows you to change it if you so want to there. Okay. That's already populated with consultant. We'll leave it there. And I'm just going to click on finish, which will basically say I'm done signing the document and we're good to go. So I'm going to click on finish. All documents ask you if you want to save the document to your personal account. We're not going to do that. So we're going to say no thanks. All right. We're going to go ahead and close the window that opens up from DocuSign. And that's going to take us back to Infor Document Management. Okay, so I just signed the document as Leonard Woodall, and I'm going to click here on refresh. So notice as soon as I sign the document and the integration piece components work, notice that in IDM itself, I can now see that I signed that document as Leonard Woodall. So again, real-time updates, real-time access to what's occurring in DocuSign is available to the user in Infor Document Management. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my email, and I'm just going to click on the email from the supplier, and I'm going to basically perform the same exact steps. Again, message from me, click continue. Start will take me down to the signature line. Notice I clicked on the supplier, so now I'm signing as a supplier. Oh, good. So this one is actually, so again, sorry, I lost my train of thought. DocuSign doesn't know who supplier Woodall is. It doesn't know who the email address belongs to. So in this case, notice that the user can draw their own signature. They can set up their own signature, etc. So I'm glad you guys got to see that. So we're just going to adopt and sign what's delivered by DocuSign. And then we're going to click on next. Again, it's going to prompt you whether you need to update your title or not. We're going to leave it at buyer. And then we're going to click on finish. All right. And then we're going to close. Now, I have to admit, once the document is signed, it's not as quick to update here. So we're just going to give it a minute um, to come back and refresh. And I'll show you why, because there's some integrations and components that are coming back into IDM when this occurs. So we're just going to click refresh. All right. So now notice that once all signers have been completed, notice the indicator up here is turned green, which means that the document was digitally signed. When I clicked refresh, the envelope status changed to complete. I can see that both signers completed the signature of the document. Now notice on my envelope, I have this download option available to us. Now, if I click on that, one of the other things I like about the integration is that if I open up this zip document, this is from DocuSign, I have the contract itself in a PDF document. So if I open that up, it's the actual document with the signatures, the tokens, etc., available to me that I can review. And it also has a summary PDF document. So reviewing who signed it, from what IP address, kind of the legal components of the signature is also available to you to download from IDM without having to go into DocuSign to retrieve that information. Okay. So now I have an indicator that says that the document is fully signed. Now for this particular scenario, I can say, okay, the document is signed. Now I can come in and I can activate the contract and we're good to go. So we've identified the signers of the contract. We sent it out. The signers signed it. We activated the contract and everything is now within FSM or Infor Document Management and or both, right? So like I said, a very quick setup. And again, this is using contract management. The other thing I wanted to show you, I don't have to use contract management, right? So let's say I want to create my own document type, right? So I'm going to go back into the control center. I'm going to go back into document type, and I went ahead and created a document type called DocuSign, okay? This is a user-defined document type, has nothing to do with document types that are delivered by Infor. This is something that's available to me in IDM as an IDM administrator, right? So let's say we're not using it for contracts, but let's say we want to set it up for user access forms, for example. And maybe we want to send those out and track those through the IDM document management solution. That may be a valid use case, right? So in this case, I created a custom document type DocuSign. And notice back to the presentation, I set the enable document signature to yes. Okay. So this document type, not integrated with FSM, not integrated with contracts, is available to me as well. Now, since it's not integrated with contract management, I have to actually upload the document and get it prepared in IDM. It's not going to be interfaced over from contract management like the other document was. So to do this, what I would simply do, again, is if I wanted to send a document out to DocuSign, I could simply just click up here, add document. What it's going to first ask you to do is classify what that document is. So we're going to click on the custom document type DocuSign, and we're going to click create. Okay. Within the IDM module, it brings me into a screen similar. Notice that I have the ability to click on a link, and now I can download, or I'm sorry, upload any document that I have on my hard drive and create that document in Infor Document Management. So I'm going to click on this contract document for DocuSign. Okay. Again, this is just demoing that I do not have to have everything come through contract management. I can do this one-off and manage it all through IDM. All right. So I uploaded the document. It just so happens to be the same document that was associated to the contract. When I upload my own document, again, it's not coming in from FSM. So for this particular document type, all I care about capturing is the company and the document name. Now, when I created this document type, I could have created 50 different attributes, and all of those attributes I could use to query the document, return the document IDM, and perform the same functions that we did for the contract that came out of contract All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and just plug in a company and document name, and I'm going to hit save. Okay, so now that the document is now in IDM, this is going to work exactly like how it worked on the contract document side. This is a custom document. We want to send it out for signature. We have the same ability. We can click on signature. We can come in. We can put in the same recipients, different recipients. I don't know why. Okay. And we'll just put in user one, and I'm just going to put in a different email address just to show you. And recipients, I'm going to do please receive inside contract. And I'm going to hit send. It's going to do the exact same thing, guys. It's going to bring the contract in from IDM, and it's going to go through the same process, the same selection of signers, the same everything. The indicators are going to come back, the signature, the zip file, everything is going to work exactly the same. In this case, this is just a document that only resides in IDM and will only reside in IDM, and it does not need to come over from contract management. All right. All right. So that concludes the demo section of the presentation. So let me just want to wrap up. So recommendations. We recommend that you guys start exploring this. Start with a demo account. If you don't have a DocuSign account yet, request a 30-day demo account. Already confirmed that the demo account will work. You'll be able to explore the features and functionalities. And furthermore, be able to potentially host a short walkthrough session with your users to be able to just demonstrate how the integration works between Infor Document Management, DocuSign, contract management, all the above, to get their buy-in, see how the solutions can transform the way they do work today. Lastly, just keep everything organized, right? Some clients don't have a document solution. A lot of this documents are reviewed. Maybe you do have a DocuSign account, but only one user has access to it. And there's not a lot of visibility into where these documents are and whether they've been signed. Being able to integrate the IDM document solution with DocuSign and being able to get that integration is key to make it a seamless process to your users. And again, review audit trails. Definitely want everyone to be able to see what you can pull down through that zip file, being able to look at the summary documents, understand who signed it, when, and where, making sure that you guys are comfortable with that process as well. I'm sure Chandra will be posting this slide deck. I just wanted to add a couple of quick document links. Obviously, Infor Docs is critical, has a lot of good information. I did put in a link to DocuSign signature configuration. This is the document that's published by Infor that will walk you through the same configuration steps that I walk with you today. Sending a document out for signature from IDM. This document will walk you through that process and what each step of the way if you want to review that. And lastly, preparing for this, I took a lot of DocuSign tutorials because I'm just not that familiar with that product. So I put that here as well. There's a lot of great tutorials from DocuSign, how to leverage templates and use some of the workflow functionality. So I just wanted to point that out as well. And Sandra, I hope that we can publish this and people can take advantage of some of these links as they get as they work on the integration components.
Definitely. We will post this to our YouTube page and I'll include those links under the video, and we'll also send out the slide deck to everybody who's on as well today. It looks like we've got one question. We use FSM, but not IDM yet. Do you know whether IDM is usually included in the FSM licenses or not?
I don't believe it is. That would be something that they would want to reach out to Infor for, just to confirm what they're licensed for. Yep.
Okay, great. Is there a way to get the document without having to create a widget?
A document without creating a widget. whoever asked that question, can you just clarify a little bit for me? Just trying to determine what we mean by without a widget.
And they may not be on. Oh, here we go.
Okay,
go ahead.
Here we go.
Yeah, I've seen that you have the widget to get to from the contract. Click on the
I'm having a really hard time hearing. I don't know, Leonard, if you're getting it more clearly than me.
I think what I heard was potentially not using this widget here within the widget's context window. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if you don't have this widget available to you, what you're going to need to do is within contracts, and I have to admit, this is one thing in my demo environment that does not work for some reason, but I'll show you what the user case is. So if you're in contracts, what you should be able to do is if you do not have this widget over here, or the widget
Leonard,
is
really
blank,
quick, we can't see your screen.
Oh, I stopped sharing. Thank you, Chandra. I appreciate that. All right, guys. So the question was, can we get to the document without having to use this widget? And the answer to that is yes. The caveat is that this particular demo tenant, and I'll show you what happens. In a working dem environment with IDM, if I were to come to the contract, so let's say this is a contract associated to a contract in IDM, if I click on this open contract document, this will allow me to download it up. I'm sorry, in Infor Document Management. I'm glad you asked the question. This should work. This will bring you into the same location and will allow you to be able to send that document out for signature. A third option is you could also go, so this contract is contract 396. Your other option is you can simply come in to Infor Document Management, select the contract type. Oops. So this one happens to be a contract. My goodness. This happens to be a contract document. I can click on search. I can put in other criteria as well, obviously. But since we just signed that contract, your other option is you can search for the contract within IDM itself, and then you'll be able to get to the same location by clicking on the contract, and then you can do it from here. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, we've got another one. Can you do a mass upload of documents to IDM?
Yes. IDM does provide a solution for doing a mass upload. If you have access to the control panel, we have a component called utilities. And in here, there's a bulk import template, documentation related to how to get documents uploaded into the system. And just want to also point out that Infor Document Management does have open APIs. So if you actually wanted to integrate documents or publish documents to IDM, you also have open APIs available to you as well. And if y'all want any information about the import utilities and things like that, feel free to reach out to me. You'll have my email address and definitely help you through that process if you guys just kind of want to understand how those utilities work.
All right, I think that is all the questions we have for now. Like Leonard said, if you have any questions that pop up, you can reach out to him directly, or we will be sending out the recording so you can respond to us and we can loop you in with Leonard as well. So I guess that's it. Thank you all for joining today. Leonard, thank you for this session. This was great. And we will, like I said, follow up soon with the recording and the slide deck.
Great. Thanks everyone for joining. I appreciate it. Have a good day.